Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My life as Monique. I've been thinking, has the world gone mad? Because it seems like good is bad and bad is good. I mean, things have just been over the top lately. I want to give you a rundown of the March things that have been going on. Okay, first and foremost, Diddy. We've heard this situation about P-DIDDY, Puff Daddy, Brother Love, his house being raided and all of that stuff. Now, I don't know this man. I've never met him in my life. The things that they're accusing him of are, horrible and egregious. But we'll just see what happens with this. I haven't commented a lot about it because I really don't know all the details. A lot of people have said a lot of negative things, but it sounds like a lot of people have been complicit because they knew all this stuff was going on and didn't say nothing, but now all of a sudden they want to come out on social media and condemn him when some people are part and parcel to this whole situation. But I'm going to wait and reserve my judgment because who am I, right? And the bottom line is this: we all are going to reap what we sow. Diddy, the elites, people with money, people without money, none of us can get around those laws that are in place. So whatever's going on with Diddy and his family, I'm being mindful not to sit here and say things that I don't know anything about, right? I can only go by what media is saying, and sometimes the media is not always accurate. So imagine if you may be accused of some things and people add in about 20 other things that you didn't do. That's equivalent to smearing, and we're going to talk about that. But yeah, that's been in the news lately as far as Diddy is concerned, raiding his homes and that type of thing. But I'm sick of hearing about it, to be honest with you. I'm sick and tired. I mean, it's been all over social media, and it's the type of situation where you're thinking, what else is going on? Isn't there other things, important things in this world? Not saying that somebody who's committed certain acts should not be punished, but isn't there other things going on? I'm personally tired of hearing it, and I'm trying to look at the underlying things that are going on and other stuff that we might not be paying attention to. But this has captured all the headlines, and as you can see, I haven't really done a lot of stories on it because I don't know what really happened. A lot of people are backpedaling on the stories, and if that's the case and people are backpedaling, you can really damage someone's reputation if certain said things are not 100% true. We got the super city girl, Mayor Tifany Henyard. She's just off the chain. I don't know what's going on with her, but it seems like the world is being run by a bunch of tyrants, and now they're not afraid to talk about it or to really show their true colors. We're talking about black, white, anybody, people, the narcissists are in power, and I don't know what possessed her to do this Nino Brown type of situation. Tiffany, are you a gangster? Because people are going to be thinking that you a gangster because Nino Brown, he was a drug dealer. So I'm not understanding how this was something that she would do. Tiffany, is not a good look for you. We got Trump, who's appealing Fannie Willis's, this whole thing with the Fannie Willis case. He's appealing. Nathan Wade, of course, he's out of the picture, and he's been taken off the case. So we know we probably won't be seeing him again anytime soon. We got New York City Mayor Eric Adams, child, talk about craziness. If y'all still in New York, get out. But Eric Adams putting the National Guard in the subway stations, rightfully so. It's like Chirac. That was, that term was held for Chicago, but now it's like Chirac in New York. What's the term for that? Like I said, they got the National Guard in the subway stations. They had a pow situation at Hoyt and Skimmerhorn. Shout out to all my family in Brooklyn. You know that Hoyt and Skimmerhorn station in Brooklyn. Folks was up there, pow-powing, and it's not safe, if you ask me, if you're a woman or a man, to ride the subways in New York, okay? So y'all that's in New York, be safe, stay safe. So all my family, shout out to y'all, but it sounds like it's a lot going on there with the immigrant crisis. And like I said, this is the Hoyt, if you don't know how to say it, Skimmerhorn Street station in Brooklyn. Okay, downtown Brooklyn. There was a pow pow there. People were on the train actually shooting. Then we got the squatter situation. I've been bringing y'all stories about squatters. This lady here, she ended up getting arrested for trying to get back into her home. And this dude right here on the other side, when they pointing fingers like Fonnie Willis was doing, you know, he was like, I'm not going nowhere. And now, you know what, he's asking her for $18,000 allegedly to get out of her house. Let me think about this for a moment. Let me just sit here and think. Then we had, okay, this young lady here, Carlee Russell. She pled guilty in court. You know, all of y'all who got upset with me when I told y'all that there was really no baby running around on the highways, I didn't report that because it didn't make sense. In the words of Judge Judy, if it don't make sense, it ain't true. And I was the one who said this was all a scam and a flim flam. She pled guilty and she has to pay $17,000, but I thought it was more. But I think, you know, her family is well connected, so I believe it probably was more than $17,000. But anyway, Carlee Russell pled guilty, and you know, at one point in time, there obviously has to be something wrong with this young lady, and I hope she gets the help that she needs. You know, at one point in time, I was like, you know what, she was going to nursing school, and a lot of you guys know that I'm a nurse. And I said, we don't want her, but Carlee, I hope she gets her life in order. Then this lady here, I did a story on her. Her house was paid in full, y'all, and they went and hold on one second here. They went and sold her home right from underneath her. You know, they sold her home right from underneath her, y'all, for some HOA dues, and she thought she wasn't in the HOA. Now, I did call her attorney. She did lose on her first appeal. She's not in her home. Her house was sold for half the value. Her house is worth like, this was in North Carolina. Her house is worth like $500,000. Well, it's gone. We talked about Trump already. But yeah, they sold her home for $200 and something thousand, and she's in the appeal process. I spoke to her attorney and asked if I could you know, do an interview with him or her, but never heard back. But I hope everything turns out. But guys, HOAs, I talked about that. We'll continue talking about that. But HOAs have a lot of power, y'all. A lot of power. And I don't think we really understand how much power that these people really do have. They have a lot of power. Yes, Mayor Eric Adams in New York City. I talked about that again, of course, with the Tifany Henyard. We talk about that. The super city girl mayor, Nathan Wade, he's out. We talked about that this month. The National Guard in the subway stations in New York. We talked about that. So just giving you a March rundown, but also as it relates to just talking about these stories. A lot of, in my opinion, content creators just say whatever they want and they smear people's names. And I'm going to be talking about smear campaigns because this is one of the things that people use. They use smear campaigns to isolate, to degrade, to wreck people's character. And I'm going to talk about that. And that's why I'm very careful about how I report my stories. Because when you smear somebody's name, that's their reputation. It's not right. And you open yourself up to a lot of things. So I'm going to be speaking about that as well coming up. So yeah, I'm going to sit here and think about it before I say anything about anyone. Y'all know I also did stories on BBLs gone wrong. And we talked about hard-headed Miami. I did a story on her, a young lady who passed away. She had children and she lost her life to the BBLs. And a lot of these, there are a lot of women, people of color who've lost their lives to surgical procedures that are, first and foremost, some of them are dangerous, but some of them have lost their lives through negligence and malpractice. And I'm going to be talking about medical malpractice, and I'm going to be talking about people who have had situations in the news, some maybe familiar stories and some not so familiar, you know, situations and surgeries gone wrong where there is medical malpractice. And you know what, guys, some people literally lose their lives. And these are some pictures of people from the news that have had surgeries, whether it's plastic or maybe surgeries that you needed where things just go, you know, to the left. And some people don't even live to tell their stories. And I'm going to tell you my story. Mine is, you know, a lot of detail, but telling you, I feel it's like, time that we speak up and we speak out. And how do you go about picking your doctors? These are just some faces, y'all, of people who are no longer with us, from medical malpractice and from other things. Even me being a nurse, I found that people don't listen to us when we have issues and problems. There's a thing that goes on in the medical field. So we'll be talking about that as well. But, my condolences to these families, because some of these people that are in these pictures, they're no longer with us. They're deceased after having medical procedures, okay? Whether it's plastic surgery or not, we should all be treated with dignity and care. People take oaths to take care of their patients, and there are people who go in for emergent surgeries and don't make it out alive due to the negligence and the malpractice of physicians. And so I'm going to be talking about what that looks like. If you know this lawyer from Breaking Bad, how do you pick a medical malpractice attorney? And these are some things that I had to do, and I'll tell you some of the mistakes that I made. What do you need to look for? Because there are statutes of limitations that you can bring these lawsuits. So if you know this attorney, he was a crooked attorney, and you don't want to pick an attorney, you want to pick the best attorney that's a good fit for yourself. So I'll be talking about that as well. And going back to talking about these surgeries gone wrong. But this is Saul. He was the crooked attorney from Breaking Bad. If you know anything about that, if you know, you know. It was called, I think he had a spinoff called Better Call Saul, and he was a crooked attorney. He really, really was. And not to say, look, there are good attorneys and bad attorneys, good doctors, bad doctors, good nurses and bad nurses. It just comes with the territory. But when it's you and something like medical malpractice takes place, you got a short amount of time to get the best attorney in place to advocate for you and to get your case heard in a court of law so that you can get justice. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my case and what happened with me and what you should and should not do. I'm not a lawyer, but I could just tell my story, right? And, I'm not giving legal advice. I just tell my story. Like I said, minus the names, because I don't want to, defame anybody, but this is my story as I am going to tell it, as I saw it, and as I lived it. So, y'all, this is Life as Monique. Please don't forget to give me a like, a share, and a subscribe. And this has been our March breakdown of what's gone on in the month of March that I've reported on. So guys, this has been the March rundown. We're going to be getting into some really great topics. So stay tuned. Again, to all of you guys who've supported me, thank you so much for your comments, your suggestions. I do listen to those things, especially if it's respectful. And I thank you guys so much. I've been doing really, really good in the sense that I've been very busy. And I hope you guys are doing well as well too. You know what I mean? Because life can get very difficult sometimes, but I have been doing exceptionally well. And when I say that, not to say you don't have problems, but I'm still here. And that's the most important thing. So guys, I will see you guys on the next upload. Again, we're going to be talking about some things like medical malpractice, picking an attorney, and we're going to keep talking about these smear campaigns, because I think the internet, just because you can say something doesn't always mean you should, and the ramifications of doing certain things and saying things about people. But there could be smear campaigns on the internet, smear campaigns in your family. You just have to know how to deal with these things. And this is one of the things the enemy, your enemy, is using, are smear campaigns, because it's hurtful. You don't have the ability to control that, what people say about you, right? And it's just an attempt to, hinder you from your purpose. And a lot of these people, the narcissists, and a lot of them are, that's one of their go-to things. Flying monkeys, smear campaigns. And we're going to talk about that, and we're going to get in depth how it looks, how they do it, because sometimes you don't even know they're doing it, and sometimes called the silent treatment. But baby, just know the God that I serve, honey, I am doing great, and that's all that I'm gonna say. So guys, I look forward to speaking with you. So guys, yeah, sometimes what people think they mean, what the enemy means for your harm can sometimes turn out to be for your own good. And so we have to look at things that way. And so I want you guys to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you on the next upload. All right, y'all. Peace, and I'm out.